from how exciting yesterday was, but today is. We are officially publicly listed and publicly traded. That is cool. You know, it makes me nostalgically kind of walk down memory lane, which was kind of the highlight of today's email. Just talking about where we've come from, where we are, but by no means is this the destination. This is simply the journey, and the journey is the dream. I'm not sure that that makes sense on the surface, but when you think about it, and one of my biggest idols, Kobe Bryant, and when he retired, he gave like a bit of a speech at at Laker Stadium. I forgot what it's called at the moment. But he goes, you know what? When you go through the journey, you realize that that is the dream. Every day working hard, every day doing what needs to be done, every day walking into a day not knowing what is going to happen, but finding a way to accomplishing and succeeding past all challenges and finding only solutions. And of course, I'm paraphrasing him, but it was really enlightening. He goes, the destination's not the dream. It's the journey. It's every day that you look at your team members. It's every day that you work your butt off. And when you realize that that's the dream, you've accomplished something. And what I wanted to share this morning and this morning's email was when we started, when we dreamt loud enough to come up with RHINO coin, remember that's what it was called, which is RHINO bucks. It's 1-to-1. It's the same exact thing, just different name. When we dreamt it, it was, you know what, the value, the strength in numbers, the values in the population. There's no single company that's been profitable without a customer, and there's no elected official that ever got voted in without a vote. Therefore, the power is in population, and we're going to identify a structure that would be able to capture that value and redistribute it to the population. It's not capture the value, make an asset and get $1 million off of it by ourselves, but because the value is the entire population, let's unite the entire population, capture that value in a single asset. Everyone agrees to it. And by owning that asset, you effectively own your value. And, you know, it was one of those, all right, it's a cent, right? Like December 2021, RHINO coin, 1 penny. And we reached out to our investors first, not because they're better than anyone, but because they instinctually have a vested interest in RHINO. So if we have a bad idea, trust me, our investors are not shy to tell me. They're really not shy. But more so than that, if we were able to raise the funds with our investor base, well then all the more power, right? The investors would be happy. As the idea grew though, I said to all of our investors, I really would like to open this up because for this to be something, it needs to be owned by the population of the world, not of RHINO, right? And hopefully the population of RHINO is the world one day. And everyone said, okay, and I trust you, right? Like we've been part of this for quite some time and I trust you. And I remember getting off those phone calls and I remember saying, we're going to eclipse $1 in 12 months, right? And the coin was a 1 penny. And everyone's like, okay, there's Anthony. He's just a dreamer, right? But that's what people, you know, everyone loves a dreamer when they're not losing money, right? And our investor base never has lost money, so everyone's happy. And be that as it may, right? I just throw that out there so that people that are listening understand there is a difference between a dreamer with a dream and an execution plan and a dreamer with a dream and just no execution. One is valuable and one is not. So the point of the story, right? Yesterday, we did some testing. Now we wanted to test $100, in which case we tried to test $100. We sent $100 to Binance and thought we could then send it over to the pancake swap. Well, what we didn't know, and this is is this week, right? You learn what you don't know. That when you deposit money into Binance, it has to be held in Binance for 10 days. So we have $100 in Binance that, I don't want to say the word hostage, that's a really strong word, but it's in Binance and we can't get it out for 10 days. Okay. So we did $30, right? Like $30 was the minimum amount that MetaMask offers buy now through Transact. It's a company we never heard of, and the minimum's $30, so we've never heard of them. So we did $30. And it worked out well, and we were able to send it over. In fact, we were sent it over as BNB. Now that's another thing. When we made the swap on PancakeSwap, RHINO Bucks is backed by swap by BUSD, which is the dollar coin of Binance. Binance is the largest exchange, therefore their dollar coin we really have confidence in. I did not know you can send any coin over and purchase RHINO Bucks. In fact, you can. So when we went ahead and purchased BNB, because that's the only thing you could buy now from MetaMask, we thought, oh no, now we have to swap this into BUSD. And this might be going over some people's heads, right? The point of the story is that you can use any crypto to buy RHINO Bucks because it automatically swaps upon the PancakeSwap, which brings me to my next point. We are backed by BUSD because during volatile times in the market, especially in a rate rising environment, you would suspect, and we have seen, all asset prices decrease. We will continue seeing all asset prices decrease. In fact, we saw Bitcoin at close to 70,000. It's now 19,000. So if we were backed by Bitcoin at 70,000, we could have grown over 300% and not have gained any value because our backing lost 80% of its value, right? So any value is two things, nominal price and currency. So if something's $10, great. I know it's $10. If it's just 10, okay, 10 what? $10 is more valuable than 10 pesos. And that's not because America is better than Mexico, it's because the dollar is more valuable than the peso. So the currency backing is just as important. The point being, we still foresee a lot of volatility in this market, and we do see a crash ahead. We do see a bottom in all markets around the globe, likely by January. It is that point we're going to swap out our backing from BUSD, which is the most conservative dollar, to something more speculative, more captures rebound, like BNB, which is the coin for Binance. Again, still wildly conservative. It's the biggest exchange in the world, and this is their currency. But in a world where things go down, having something that's backed by a dollar is a good thing. Having in a world that's, especially when the dollar's going up, I think it's up like 15% this year, which is why if you take a look at your investment portfolio, it's probably not doing well, which is why if you take a look at the RHINO portfolio, it's doing quite well because we've got the backings correct. The year 2023, not only do we believe the growth in RHINO is going to be exponential, but we believe the rebound in the digital currency market, but really the asset market as a whole, stock market, real estate market, etc., commodity market, will rebound as well. So if we're able to go ahead and hitch our coin to a long-term story, like Bitcoin, we all know is a long-term story. If you ask anyone, what do you think the price of Bitcoin will be 10 years from now? They all say higher. It's just so much volatility between now and then. Because if you ask anyone in 100 years from now, what do you think we'll be using, digital currency or paper currency? The answer is quite obvious. So in a long-term story, you want to be a part of it for the long term, because if you're part of it short term, you're hostage to the volatility. Be that as it may, if we go ahead and capture a long-term story at the beginning of the story, when it's bottomed, well, now we can do 1,000%, growth in RHINO next year. But if the coin itself goes up 100, 200%, now you're taking your growth in your coin, so say 1,000%, and now you're multiplying it by 2, 3, 4, 5 times, which equals the growth of the appreciation, the value of the currency. So I just want to share that with you, because getting back to the journey is the dream. If you asked me in December 2021, Anthony, so when you get to this dollar, what do you think the market's going to look like? And when do you see a rebound in the market? And would you have been so smart to put it into a dollar coin and been equally as smart to be able to switch it out into a higher appreciation risk coin during a risk on time for the next 10 years as the market rebounds? I don't know if that sentence was existed. In fact, I know it didn't. But I can tell you now, 4 months ahead of time, I'm cognizant of it. And to get that right equals a multiplier effect, that you could be up 1,000% times 2, 3, or 4. Meaning we could reach our numbers 2, 3, 4, 5 times as quickly as we once thought we could. So this that's what the journey looks like. But I do want to say that everyone, all of our rhinos that have been part of Rhino since December 2021, have been part of Rhino Bucks and knew it never existed, that it never materialized, that it was always a paper concept that we accurately ledgered, that we shared publicly our ledger with everyone, that we stayed accountable and in front of everyone, whether it's be email or Zoom webinar or whatnot. And we constantly evolved our thinking. We've constantly included all advice, all feedback, all opinion. And now we are where we want it to be. The coin does exist. The coin is created. Capture rebound based on crypto. Have you heard about the tentatives to regulate crypto? So no, I haven't heard of that. And it's simply just, yeah, we can capture the rebound. We do not need to be in Bitcoin to capture the rebound in Bitcoin. We could be in Rhino Bucks and back it by Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin doubles over the next year, well, the backing, the value of the coin, the thing that makes the coin, doubled over that time period. And the price of the coin moves up because the community is growing as well. So I've always said with Rhino, we wanted to simplify crypto. You didn't have to go out there and find which crypto you want to use or learn how to send this, and this. That we were going to do all that for you in a front-facing fashion. Say that 5 times fast. But I think I was getting at it happened, and it's here, and it's $1, and it's publicly traded, and you can look it up. In fact, we put it in our email, and it's going to be in every single email going forward. In fact, if I could figure out how to buy $200 worth today, I would. I know that sounds silly, but I was trying to use the same transact with $200, and it's not going through. So I'm thinking, because our corporate account is with JP Morgan Chase, that maybe they aren't fond of it. So I got to call the bank now. But again, this week is learning what we don't know. But to that end, the fully diluted value of Rhino Bucks is $1,009,000,000 right now. Right now. That you can look up. That is in the email. So where I was going, and I'm 5 minutes over, was everyone that's been a part of this the last year has done it on faith. And there's a lot of people that did not get involved because of faith, and that's fine. Like, everyone's money is their decision. And we've always said that, or during this year, where faith is the leading reason, well, you're going to get a discount. You're going to get a valuation that factors that in. For instance, if I said to you, if you buy this at 1 penny, it's going to be $1 next year. Well, if it's going to be $1 next year, why wouldn't I buy it at 50 cents? Well, because not many people, you do not have enough that people are going to trust it at 50 cents, but for a penny, 100 times return, that's worth the risk. At 50 cents, it's only 2 times return. That's not worth the risk. So everyone that got in during that year correctly accepted risk, and you've been rewarded for it, and you will continue to be. The point of what I'm trying to say is now that we actually have it, now that it can be looked up, now that people can see charts and volume and publicly traded markets and publicly traded listings, those that you once might have been able to speak to that said, hey, listen, get back to me when it's real, that's what this year looks like. The email tomorrow is going to highlight the, every Wednesday we do an article. It's going to be 2022, we built it, 2023, all aboard. I believe that's what it's titled. So I'll be crafting that today, and I'll be up by 4 a.m. tomorrow to put the finishing touches on that. The reason I mention that is because I did say that we were going to send out an email today detailing Investor Coin. I did not do that because I did not want to take away from the milestone that we all reached together. We are publicly traded and listed. So tomorrow you will know everything in terms of Investor Coin. I feel like the angle has my eyes looking tired. I am a little tired. I've been up since 4 a.m. and our son woke up last night, but I'm looking at myself and I just want to say I'm not as tired as I look. I feel like I need to like, woohoo. But point of the story, I'm going to get to emails now, the emails from last night. I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to make a purchase into RHINO Bucks again today so we can continue building on the progress. Anyone that has not got a wallet into V, please do so. To that point, by the end of this week, we're going to add an additional function to rhinoretirement.com, which will be a button for Trust Wallet and MetaMask. Anyone that wants to do any wallet, God bless, but we're going to keep it simplified because the majority of those in RHINO are saying, Ant, I'm in this because you said you were going to simplify crypto. Stop making it complicated. Just tell me what to use. In which case we're going to do a step-by-step like, hey, next screen, look at the top right, press this button. And that's not me being funny. That's the best advice ever, or best instruction. We're going to have that on that page because everyone that gets into RHINO going forward needs to know how to get a wallet. Also, the email sequencing is going to allow for that as well. If you don't have a wallet, it's going to identify you and send you the email like, hey, you need a wallet. What else do we got? I don't know. Everything's just going good. I'll tell you this on a personal level. When you really, really work your butt off, it's always an investment, right? Like if you want to create something and you want it to be grand, well, you don't earn it. Like it doesn't materialize every day. You're just working and hoping that the work that you're doing materializes it one day. And you hope to project and forecast when that would be. But for instance, if you want to save up for $1 million house, every day you save up $10, you don't see a brick getting placed on the ground. Like you don't see it being built. You just got to continue trusting that it will be. And when the day happens and you see it in front of you, and we are publicly traded, and if you take a look at the price, it's actually $1. It's like, what? When you look at the fully diluted value, you see $1 billion. Like we created $1 billion. I just want to say we did it. And this is still the journey because as you'll read that email, there's not a portion of it that Anthony says, all right, great, we did it now. Bye, guys. No, actually, the last sentence of it is, we'll be $100 by Christmas. So, you know what? Let me get back to work. I love all y'all. Sorry that this call was delayed today. And I'm sorry that I then went over 10 minutes. So maybe 2 sorries equal a right. I don't know. But I love y'all. I'm going to post this on the YouTube now. And a lot of cool stuff. So actually, one of you messaged me earlier, Ant, how do we get this up? It's the same answer every day. Please make sure you're referring people. This is a good thing. This isn't something where I'm going to refer someone and then I'm going to look like I have egg on my face. Anyone that referred anyone 1 year ago, that friend is telling them, hey, thank you. I just made 100 times my money. So please do that again.